Big game this week versus a very good team. Had a great year last year. A lot of returning players, especially up front on offense and defense. Do a really good job coaching. Don't give up a lot of big plays. So we're going to have our hands full. And guys have done a good job this week. It's our first real week of a normal schedule. So just getting them used to that also.
Stars off, Nate. Coach, just think about one of the things you said on Monday about just following the book as far as those fourth down play calls go. Does knowing that you might be going for it on fourth down impact how you call a third down play?
Yeah. So as soon as it's third down, we'll say the book will say 5 or less, maybe 3rd and 10, and so that if you get to 5 or less, you're going to go for it. So you call accordingly, and don't call the same plays you would call on 3rd and 10 a lot of times.
Is it kind of like treating an old school second down instead of a third down? Like you're acting like it's second down now? I don't know.
I don't think of it that way. I just think of it as 4-down territory. So if you get a certain route, you're going to go for it on 4th down.
Do you find sometimes that defenses, if you're in like a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, are expecting you to pass, you can catch them off guard maybe with the run in a situation like that?
Yeah, that's why people run draws and or pop a run for those reasons.
Lane, have you seen anything defensively in practice this week that gives you hope for a noticeable improvement?
I have. I think our guys have done a good job this week. And so a very different opponent, from scheme standpoint, and hopefully we match up better with that too.
What did you think of Dean Leonard against Florida?
First game, obviously had not played this type of competition, so he did all right in there. Gave up a touchdown, but he'll continue to get better. The guy didn't know he was playing until the day before the game.
Go back to David.
Yeah, Lane, with Saturday being the first game for this staff, cumulatively, just curious what you thought about the staff synergy and communication process in the first game with all of you guys being together for the first time.
I think it was good. I think those things are difficult. You got a lot of staff, and so if you just take the 10 full time, I think 9 of them I've never worked with. So, that does take some getting used to. I would think Florida would tell you that, it's much different when you're returning and you've worked with the guys for years. So that'll continue to get better as we learn how each other work and expectations.
Go ahead, Nick.
Lane, how do you prepare a defense for a team like Kentucky this week that seems to make so many of its throws at or around the line of scrimmage and tries to make you miss tackles instead of beat you downfield like Florida did?
You work on obviously tackling like we do every week, but we even tackled in our service periods yesterday, which isn't always the case, just because we felt we tackled poorly. So, it's basic football. You got to line up, know where you're supposed to be, and make the play.
You'll go ahead.
Lane, I'm sorry to keep belaboring the point on this. Have you gotten any word?
Word on the vote? I was beating you to it as soon as you said belaboring the point. I have not. I know nothing different except for that I assume it hasn't happened because I asked again this morning. They said it hadn't happened. So
I guess just curious, has anyone given you any kind of an explanation as to why? I'm sure you've asked that as well.
I have, and I guess I've just told everybody he hasn't voted. So I don't know what that means. I don't really understand why it's that difficult.
Go back to Nick.
Have you guys still clean on the COVID front? No more positive tests since the Florida game happened?
We are 0 again, 3 weeks in a row.
Just from your perspective, we've heard a lot of coaches from college and pro teams complain about adjusting to coaching with the face covering on. Was there any difficulty for you, or was it kind of second nature at this point after all the practices?
I probably didn't do a really good job of that. So I probably need to do a better job. I do think it's difficult. I mean, and it's hot out there, and it's unusual. So I guess I got to do a better job.
Go ahead, Nick.
Lane, offense or defense here, do you feel like you guys are settled at most positions, or are there still some competitions for starting jobs?
Well, I think defensively we rotate more people, as always on defense. So I think that's, more competitive, but there still is, running back depth, receiver second team. So there's still a lot of competition going on.
David, go ahead.
Yeah, Lane, just wanted to get your thoughts on Mac Brown last week. He only punted 3 times, but no returns allowed, averaged 49 yards. He was an effective weapon for you, it looks like.
Yeah, he did a good job. Coverage did a good job. Protection did a good job. So, obviously we'd like to not use him very much. So hopefully he doesn't get a lot of work.
Back to Parrish.
On that receiver depth, you expressed some concern there a little bit a couple weeks ago. Have you seen anybody elevate and just play stronger?
Well, we didn't give him a lot of chances in the game. We didn't rotate very much in the game. But in practice, Danius Jackson's done a really good job, and anticipate him playing a little more. And, Jackson and Sanders both have been hurt and limited. So hopefully they can help us some more.
Nick, go ahead.
Does COVID protocols affect how big your travel roster gets to be at all, or is it just kind of same as?
I believe it's the same. I think because we were home, so it didn't matter. And I think I asked last week, and I believe it's home was 80 and travel's going to be 70. So I think that's normal SEC rules.
Any more questions for Coach? Go ahead, David.
Yeah, Lane, I asked this in a very general fashion, but you guys' performance, particularly on offense last Saturday, have you been getting good feedback on the recruiting scene with that?
I think in general we've gotten good feedback. I think the sideline stuff, with touchdown and turnover, they thought was really neat. They loved the jerseys. They had to feel like, we were explosive on offense. We were fun to watch. So, and the team had good energy. So that's all been good. Now we need to win, and that'll certainly help a lot more.